seen you can do that with weights. Now what we need to look at is how can we get stronger in some other ways, still putting some load on. You know, some people believe that you can use weights virtually at any time. Our belief is that when you're below 16 years of age, there are some ways to get stronger without using weight and without putting yourself at risk. We're going to look at some of those now, using your own body weight and using a partner to give you some resistance. And even older teenagers and older players can get some real improved strength from being able to do this. Here's the common push-up. You notice Gretz's fingers are pointing straight ahead. Let's try a variation and move the fingers pointing inwards, and then we can get the muscles of the back side of the arm and the shoulder to a greater extent. Nice form, guys, keeping the back straight, using the arms and the shoulders, and even getting some work done on our chest. Excellent. Another way for us to put load on muscle for hockey players, especially the young, is to use partner resistance. Let's watch Gretz and our friend Rob here do a few of them. The forearm, of course, is very important for hockey. And in this case, Rob's going to rotate the stick with a rotation of his wrist and forearm, and Gretz is going to resist him. And then he's going to rotate it. Gretz will rotate it coming back in, and Robbie resists him. Really good. That's it, guys. Just enough resistance so that you feel that load, and you can feel it moving back through. Change to the other side and do the opposite hand. Now what we'll do is move to the bicep. Remember, we've already looked at that with free weights and using the dumbbell. Now, in this particular case, Rob will do the bicep curl. Bring it up through that range, Gretz resists him. Gretz pushes down, Rob resists him. And in this way, we get to do that. Notice Robbie's keeping his back nice and straight, his elbows in, and that way he gets to focus on doing the bicep muscle. Excellent. Now, here's one where we're holding the stick. Very important muscles in our shoulders here are what we call the rotator cuff. And this particular action of rotation outward really strengthens them. Here, Robbie's going to use that now, rotating out, keeping his elbow in, and Gretz resists. Then Gretz pushes in, and Robbie resists. And we can do it here on the left-hand side or the right-hand side and alternate. Now what we're going to do is get Robbie to lay down on the floor. And we've already seen various ways to get after the chest muscles and the shoulders with bench and the dumbbells. Rob's going to now go through a little bit of a bench. Notice his hand position is much like the bench. He pushes up and Gretz gives him a little bit of resistance. He moves through that range and gets himself a little stronger. Gretz then pushes him down, and Robbie uses his same muscles to do that. Not too much resistance here. What we're doing is trying to get him to move through with some resistance so that the muscles get stronger. Here's another one that we can go after. This is called the lat pull down for these muscles here in the upper part of the back. Again, Robbie is going to pull it down, and then Gretz is going to resist. Great. Gretz pulls it up, and Robbie resists. Good job, Rob. I noticed that you're pushing right through Gretz's resistance. Excellent effort. Once again, the highlight here is that we can use our muscle groups, a little bit of resistance to make the muscles stronger, but not loading with that extra amount of weight. This way, young guys, medium-aged guys, and even older guys can get a lot stronger. This sprinting can be done in 3 different ways. You can do it unassisted, you can do it with resistance, and then you can assist the sprinter to even go faster. We're going to give you some examples of those. I'm going to use my friends Colt and Robbie here to do the unassisted sprinting. Let's go, guys. Let's get lined up. The key thing here is we're not going to go long. We're going to go 10 to 20 yards, but we're going to go at high speed. We're going to think high speed, fast as we go through here. You'll go on your own time, focus on that end, sprint through, and then we'll get you to weight down at that end for us. Nice. Knees high, Robbie. Attaboy. Pump those arms. Excellent. And return. That's it, Colt. Knees high. Excellent. Nice run. That's it, Robbie. Knees high. Arms going. Drive through. That's the boy. Great sprint.
Great workout, but a lot of fun, but a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Well, you're exactly right, Gretz. But you know, if you practice that day in and day out, you get better and better and better. You know, if it was easy, there'd be a lot more false arrhythmias.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Now, listen, speaking of all that, how often and how much should someone work out doing this stuff?
Well, these are the kinds of things that are really skill-oriented, and they're not fatiguing, but they really challenge you to do it skillfully. So you really could put 1 or 2 or 3 of these in to your workouts every single day, just so that you get a lot better at being agile, coordinated, balanced, and under control.
Right. Just one more thing. My young friend here has a question for you.
Oh, yeah, Robbie, go ahead.
I'm 12 years old. Should I be doing this type of workout?
Oh, yeah, Robbie. You know, we talked about plyometrics, and sometimes those high jumps can be a little bit hard on you guys, and it's something we don't recommend, or heavy weights. But this kind of work really helps your nervous system make you a better hockey player, make you more skilled, and ultimately, down the road, be able to take you where you want to go, to be the best you can be.
All right, thank you very much, Howie. Now let's refresh ourselves and go.
I play Major Junior in the Ontario Hockey League, and sometimes we have some long bus rides after our trips. Let's say I have a game Friday night and then another game Saturday night. And the game doesn't end until, say, 11:30. Do I eat right after the game, or should I wait until the next day?
Tim, that's a great question, because, you know, the same problem occurs in the National Hockey League, where they're playing back-to-back games, they get on planes, and they fly to other sites. And I think one of the things that we have to remember is that when you're playing a game, like, you use up a lot of fuel that you've got to have back and ready by the next day when you're ready to play again. And there's a very narrow window in our day after a game when you can refuel. And if you don't hit that window, it takes you a much, much longer period of time. And the best window is about 30 minutes after the game. The next best window is 2 hours. And after that, then it takes much longer to refill those stores. So right afterwards, on the bus, we should be having the proper kinds of foods. You can pack fruits and vegetables in a little bag to take with you. You can have water afterwards, which is really important for getting your energy levels and your body back up to normal. And you can even have a sandwich on there. We have turkey sandwiches with nice bread and lettuce and so forth, vegetarian sandwich. I think the thing we've got to be a little careful about is fats and putting greasy foods into our system, like burgers and fries and those kind of things, because they can be detrimental to what we're trying to do the next day.
And one of the things pre-game meal that we usually like to eat between 12:30 and 1, all the guys together, buffet style. We're missing steak, which I'm comfortable eating, but the new wave or the new generation likes to have chicken or fish, which is also good. But I'm comfortable eating a little bit of steak. That's what I've done my whole life, and it's worked a little bit, I guess. So I haven't swayed too much from that. But if you could maybe take us through what you have here that each guy kind of would like to know about.
Gretz, you and I have battled for how long now?
40 years.
The time I tried to take the kids off the plate, you almost dragged my neck. But seriously, I think, once again, we have to balance what we're eating for nutrition and what players really like feel good about to get them prepared. And I think as long as we're not harming you and the rest of your diet is sound and is of the proper thing, we have to be a little bit more flexible. I think if you were to ask me preferentially which kind of thing would we rather have there as a meat and a protein source, I think we'd rather have the lean white fishes and the lean skinless chicken and those things. They're a preferential one. But if you're looking after yourself in other ways, by getting the fruits in there, by getting vegetables that have been steamed and prepared in that way, you'll even notice we've got dips here that are pure to go out and perform.
Say we have a game at 3 o'clock and we eat lunch at 12. Would it be all right to eat a cheeseburger? Would it hurt?
How old are you, Rob? You're 12. Well, Gretz has often asked me the same question. So I just wanted to put that into perspective. But, I think we have to also realize that we've got 12-year-olds and life must go on, and there must be some degree of fun there. I worry a little bit about too strict a rule. I think on occasion having a cheeseburger for lunch is not going to be a problem. But in a cheeseburger sometimes we can sit and we can look and we can ask ourselves, is this thing just something I'm doing to help me not be hungry, or can I have something else that would actually make me play better that afternoon? And I think if you change cheeseburger over to having another kind of sandwich with lean turkey and maybe some lettuce and those kind of things in it, and selecting from that kind of thing, selecting from a baked potato rather than French fries. So some of those things aren't going to be that big a deal to a 12-year-old. But on the other hand, the other things might even help you play better.
Really watch for the way that he explodes after he's done a jump and landed. So when you come back to trying to attempt to do this particular activity, you'll be able to mimic that exactly. Your second, Gretz, you're going to get ready.